Etepu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Harun Nefer. This is Kasak Ma Keparu with another exciting video for you. In this video, we're going to talk about, well, we're going to do some oracle readings. But before I get into that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. Also, we do have free ebooks for you. You can scroll down to the links below and click on any one of the ebooks, download them, and start reading them right away. And if you want to take your knowledge of the esoteric and the spiritual to the next level, you can become a Patreon supporter. You can do so for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. It's up to you. You'll get exclusive access to instructional videos, videos on the esoteric, videos on how to summon spirits for your protection, how to do self-hypnosis, how to do Qigong, and how to do divination, do your own oracle readings. Again, you can cancel at any time, so become a Patreon supporter. Last but not least, please share this video with family and friends so we can get this revolution started. So Harun Nefer, I wanted to do a quick video here, and I want to thank everybody for joining us. Sorry I'm a little bit late. This will be a very, very interesting video because for those of you who have not gotten an incarnation objective reading, this will be an opportunity for you to get it. Normally, I do have a consultation and a fee that I charge for doing that, but I'll do that for you here if you haven't already received that, all right? And this is kind of like a one-off thing. I'm not going to do this again. It's just a one-time thing. And the reason why I'm doing it because I want people to really clearly understand, well, what is an incarnation reading? It's a reading that's your destiny. It talks about what forces are governing your life. And usually with a destiny reading, that's like, well, what are the trials and tribulations I can expect in this lifetime? Because you come and you're incarnated or born into this life with a soul contract. It's an agreement you make with Tahuti. Because Tahuti is described, he records everything from every lifetime, and it's stored in the Akashic records. And when this information is stored, it's read back to you as part of the agreement. And the idea here is trying to balance energies. You see, so there's not something to where Neter or God or Source is looking to punish you, but it's more or less to say, listen, Neter wants to experience itself. It wants to place its consciousness within your physical being so it can experience the 4D realm, because Neter cannot manifest as a physical entity in the 4D realm. So it uses your vehicle, the physical body, to place its consciousness within you. And in doing that, it needs to explore a theme because everything needs to be organized according to Ma'at. Ma'at is order. So Neter says, will you agree to explore this theme with me in this lifetime? And you say yes. And then Tahuti reveals that theme. The problem is you undergo what we call as a memory wipe. So when you are born and incarnate, you remember your agreement. You see, you're supposed to have priests and priestesses who you consult with, or who your parents consult with, who will reveal to you the agreement. So that now you're forewarned and forearmed in dealing with life, in dealing with situations. You know that, oh, okay, my life is governed by the goddess Ma'at. That means I'm going to have trouble living truth. My life is governed by the goddess Sekert. That means I'm going to have trouble with structure and limitations. My life is governed by the goddess Aset, Isis. That means I'm going to have problems with devotion and dedication to certain things. My life is governed by the god Haru. I'm going to have trouble with my will. I'm going to be weak-willed. So I'll easily pick up on things like drugs. I'm easily influenced. I'm pushed here and there. So when these things are revealed to you, you know how to prepare yourself for them. And this way, in growing up, your parents or your children, there's no surprises. When your child has problems focusing and problems devoting him or herself to a subject, a cause, a job, you can sit back and say, oh yeah, we understand that. That's his destiny. That was revealed in the oracle reading. So we know he's going to have some issues with that. You see, the problem is you have kids and we go through life and we're bumping our head against the wall and we're going through all this stuff and we don't know why. We just think, oh, it's just problems I'm having in my life. That's not it. It's by design that those problems come to you, that those problems visit you. Because it's nectar wanting to experience those problems and to see how to overcome those problems. And when you successfully overcome those problems, that information gets uploaded into your oversoul and stored in the Akashic records. And then that information can help others out on other dimensions, other versions of yourself, other solar systems, other beings. They can access that information to help them solve problems. This is why you are here on Earth in this time period, because you're going through all these things to help the universe figure out how to overcome this. And that information will be accessed by another group of beings who may be going through a similar thing in another space-time continuum. But let's bring it back here to the mundane. You, whether you like it or not, made a soul contract, made an agreement. You are going to have to go through that. It may that be you may not be able to have a good relationship. You'll ruin every relationship. That's okay, because that's what Netta wanted to experience. Netta set you up to fail at those relationships so Netta could see how to figure out, to navigate through that, and to be successful and overcome that. See, we erroneously place label and definitions on things and we say, oh man, that was a bad relationship, bad marriage, that was a horrible job. But Netta doesn't see it that way. Netta says, oh, this is just a learning experience. This is an experience, one among an infinite number of experiences I will go through. And I am joyful for having the experience. And joy comes from the goddess Heru, Hathor. You may have seen Beyonce adorning herself in the whole calf or cow thing, you know, horns and all that. She was Heru, goddess of joy, love, harmony. Because Heru tells us joy is in the journey and not the destination. So don't get wrapped up in this lifetime if you get a very difficult destiny. It's okay. You're going to have more lives. You're having those lives right here and now. You don't realize it. You're having a multitude of experiences and you're drawing from those experiences. Every time you have a thought, every time a light bulb goes off, you are drawing from other lives that you had and learning from those lives. And the information is going into the Akashic records. But right now, it's unfortunate that we are in an evil society that has done away with priests and priestesses. So therefore, you don't know what your destiny is. You don't know why you're here, what your purpose is. So you're just going with the ebb and flow of life. Here, there, I don't know. My destiny is governed by the goddess Ma'at. So Netta tells me, Kasank, whatever you do in this lifetime, whatever you do, you must live truth. I have my other priesthood member. He may walk with me down the street. And after a protest, we may see that this retail store has the glass cracked. Candy is falling all over the place. And he looks down and he picks up a piece of peppermint candy and he looks at it and he says, oh, looks good. I think I'll try this. And I look down and I pick up a piece of peppermint candy. Suddenly, woo, SWAT comes down, pointing guns at me. I'm handcuffed, thrown against the wall, thrown into the back, taken off to jail. And he's just standing there looking, going, well, I took a piece of candy too. And they just ignore him. That's because they're saying everyone else could probably get away with some stuff, but you are supposed to live truth. You can't break any laws, because that's what I want to experience. What it's like to uphold and live and experience truth. Now, my friend's destiny is different, so he can get away with a little piece of candy. But he must learn to be reserved. So his reading may be sekert. So he has to keep his mouth closed, not talk back to people, understand limitations. So he may be sitting at work in a conference meeting, and the boss may be proposing a new idea, and he looks and goes, that's kind of ridiculous. And then the boss says, you're fired. Where everyone else can speak up and say their mind, he just says one little thing and he's on the unemployment line. Because that was his destiny, sekert. And sekert was trying to teach him limitations. Keep your mouth closed. Stay in your lane. But everybody else was saying things, but everyone else doesn't have a sekert destiny. Do you see? Do you see how it works? This is why you'll see friends and family members get away with certain things, and you're like, I can't do that. I do that, everybody be on my ass. Everybody be coming down on me. But it's okay. You see, when we encounter these obstructions, we have a vehicle, a means to unravel the truth and to see what's going on. That is the oracles. That is the word of God. And the oracles have always been there since the very beginning of time. The I Ching, Chinese sages decoded the I Ching on the back of tortoise shells, developed that into the 64 hexagrams based on the DNA molecule. But we don't know this because the ruling elite has killed off the priests and priestesses, eliminated them, so that we would not come into a realization of this information, this knowledge. So that we would wander around this lifetime, having strife after strife, conflict after conflict, never understanding the truth that we're meant to go through this for a reason. And you'll be born again and born again with a different destiny each time, a different theme to explore. If you have not received a destiny reading and you would like one right now, please put 1 into the chat box and I'll do your destiny reading here. And it will be a very, very concise and straightforward version, so that I'll get to the meat and potatoes of it so you'll understand it and be able to move forward with a better understanding of what's going on in your life, okay? But I just want you to understand that there is a plan. There is a plan. Things are not just happening, okay? God would be an unfair God to throw you into the world and not plan your life out for you, and also not reveal to you that plan. That'd be an unfair God, you know? So let us begin. We're going to work with the Medunater Oracle. This will be the first one. All right. We're going to do I'm only going to do a limited number because I don't have time to do a lot, but I'll try to get through to as many people as possible. Okay. Sweet brain shock. What is that? A tapu. That is so nice. Well, let me see. I don't know. Let me do Kevin Davis first because that's the first one I saw. Kevin Davis. Let's do you. All right. So let me switch cameras here. All right. Hail Tahuti, making victorious Asar over his enemies on the night that of battle, making the feathering of the Sabahu, day that destroying the enemies of Nebuchadnezzar, night that are making to stand the Jed and Jed 2. Salutation of power, Father and Mother, Supreme Being who comes as Tahuti. Thanks for the words divine. My heart belongs to you. There, please comment on what is Kevin Davis's incarnation objective. So Kevin, the first one we got is Heteru Tu Chayez. Heteru Tu Chayez. The oracle is saying to pick another card, so we pick another card. Heteru Tu Chayez and Oser Hatep. So we have Heteru Tu Chayez and Oser Hatep. That is a very, very interesting reading. So let me just break that down for you. Give me 1 second. And if you are familiar with the deities of the Kemetic religion, this will make sense to you. All right. We're back. Kevin, first card is Heteru. You must learn to live joy. And joy is something that comes from within. Too many people in our world are looking at the outside, the external forces, and saying, if things aren't the way I want externally, I will not experience joy. But joy is independent of that. You have the ability to invoke joy whenever it is you need to. Yes, we are locked down. We don't have the resources we normally would or the ability to move around freely, but you still can express joy. And as I said before, joy is in the journey and not the destination. You cannot forestall or delay joy. Some people will say, well, I'm not going to feel joyful until I get $1 million, or until my ship comes in, or until I get that promotion, or until I get that beautiful woman. No. You must learn to be joyful in the face of the greatest obstructions. You must learn to invoke joy. So Nectar will say to you, I'm going to put obstructions in front of you to see if in the face of those obstructions, you can still be joyful and learn to be harmonious, which is the next one. Oser Tep. Oser is the judge. Oser is the king. Oser is the mummy. He is dressed in white because he has no preferences. He's beyond the influence of emotions. He's the great unifier. He unifies Upper and Lower Egypt. So the two are telling us this. Heteru is harmony. Oser is unification. In order to have harmony and joy in your life, you must learn to unify and work with people. This calls for you to go beyond affiliations. You don't need to be just affiliating with people who are Democrat or Republican, who are male, female. Oser is beyond all those titles. You must learn to congregate and work with people who may not have the same views as you, who may be diametrically opposed to the things that you like. But that's okay, because you can express joy and harmony, even if you may dislike them. Because Oser doesn't dislike anybody because he is God, the personification of God. He is beyond emotions. You can't influence him. You can't bribe him. He learns to work with everybody impartially. That is your destiny. You're governed by the goddess Heteru and Oser. Hope that makes sense. All right. Let me see if I can jump to someone. I'm going to go to Sweet Brain Shock. All right. Let's see if we can get a reading here for you. All right. What is your destiny? And please, whatever you guys do, write this down. Keep a note of this. Review this video. You have to refer back to this. This is the theme of your life. Okay? This is for you to keep in mind and remember. Because it will pop up consistently in your life. What is Sweet Brain Shock's incarnation objective? Let us see. You have Tahuti Hetep. Tahuti Hetep. Ooh. That is interesting. Now, when a Hetep card is pulled, that means only one card. So you only have one deity governing your destiny. Tahuti is the scribe. He is wisdom. His mate is Ma'at, their husband and wife. Tahuti is wisdom, intuition. You see, in your life, you're going to mistake information for wisdom. See, there's a big difference. Information is being informed, reading books, going to lectures, but wisdom is revolutionary. Wisdom comes from God. Wisdom is the Akashic records. You see, in life, you're going to confront things where there's no paradigm. What do I mean by that? I mean, there is no precedent. People are saying, wow, we've never encountered this problem before. How do we solve it? This is when you must close your eyes and go inside, intuit wisdom, access the 5D, the Akashic records, and pull from that the solution that will guide the world. See, sweet brain, there, God is saying, I'm going to put obstructions in your way, and there's no set rules about how to solve them. You're going to have to learn to access the higher mind, higher wisdom, higher knowledge. You're going to have to be a Nikola Tesla, an Imhotep, an Einstein. You're going to have to learn to access wisdom and pull that down from the Akashic records and disseminate that information to the people to help people live better. And wisdom is far above knowledge and information. Again, Sebek governs information. Sebek loves to read. Sebek loves to go to lectures. Sebek loves to go to universities. But the wisdom of Tahuti is beyond book learning. It's beyond university learning. This knowledge revolutionizes the world. It creates inventions that help mankind. So you're going to have to learn that. And the last thing I want to say on that is that wisdom is not a fixed set of rules. It's not a fixed way of looking at things. Wisdom is fluid. It knows how to change according to the times, which is why you need to read the I Ching or the Tao Te Ching, the book of the way. Because I Ching says how must you change to adapt to the situation. That's wisdom. Wisdom says life comes in a myriad of different colors. What color are you? When life knocks at the door and says, this is orange. If you say I'm pink, that don't work. You've got to learn to adapt and change. Never be fixed in one way. One of the greatest fighters of our time, Bruce Lee, said it best. My style is no style. I am water, my friend. I do not know how I will respond in the fight until the person makes their move. Then I respond accordingly. I have no fixed way of responding. My cup is empty. So you must learn to be water, to be fluid. That is part of it. Okay, we're going to go on to next one. And this is Ancestral Goddess Wisdom. All right, we're going to do your destiny reading. And Michael, will do you next. I don't think I've done you before, Michael. Let me know. Is that correct? You haven't had one done yet, correct? Ancestral Goddess Wisdom. Let's go on to you. All right, let's break this down. Get into what is your destiny. Natera, please comment on what is ancestral goddess's incarnation objective. Ooh, Sebek Temat. Ooh, Mat. Two Mat. All right. These are both complementary elements, Sebek and Ma'at. And let me just break this down for you so you have a good understanding of that. One is in the, if you want to say it that way, one is in the negative and the other one's in the positive. All right. We talked about before, Tahuti is wisdom, and Sebek is, or Anubis is information. See, Sebek is intellectual smarts. He's the left brain. He deals in verbal discourse, mathematics. He's an attorney, an accountant. He's good with those left brain skills. He's very knowledgeable, informed. But you see, the left brain does not know how to solve problems in life. It does solve problems, but in this wake, it creates more problems. This is why we have problems with the pharmaceutical industry. They'll administer a drug, but that drug will have so many side effects. It can kill you. That's a Sebek thing. But you bring Ma'at into the picture. Ma'at is holistic. Ma'at knows how to think morally, to solve something without creating more problems in its wake. The two are complementary elements. You must learn. Beliefs is what Sebek is about as well. You must learn the correct thinking, the correct belief systems, because that's the problem with the world today. We have incorrect beliefs. Oh, we believe in this man as a savior, Jesus or Buddha or Muhammad. No. Those are false beliefs created by pimp pastors and the ruling elite. And Ma'at is telling to tell you to live truth, to understand what truth is. Truth is not facts. Facts is Sebek. There's a difference between truth and facts. You walk into a room, you see a man standing over his wife. His wife has a gunshot wound in her back, and the man standing over her has the gun, smoking gun in his hand. Did the man shoot his wife? Well, the facts are he's holding a gun and she's dead. But the truth is he probably just walked in there and picked up the gun and says, what the hell happened to my wife? And we get that confused in this world because based on those circumstantial evidence, based on just those facts, the jury believes the truth that he killed his wife. That's not the truth. Truth is relational thinking. It is the interdependence, the interrelationship between all things to support the whole. Just because you're informed and are a good orator doesn't mean that you are morally upright. That's the problem that we have in our government, in our society. Good speakers that can woo an audience, but they're morally corrupt. They lack ma'at, truth, righteousness, balance, reciprocity. Ma'at governs relationships. How do you relate to people? Ma'at is the judgment scene. You go before Ma'at, she weighs your heart against a feather. If your heart weighs heavier than that feather, you're in trouble. So you must learn your correct belief systems. And those belief systems must be based on truth, not man's truth, God's truth. You understand? Two very important complementary elements And hidden in a Sebek reading is a Tahuti reading, because although you must have the correct belief system, you must also know what wisdom is. And wisdom is higher on the tree of life than Sebek. Tahuti is higher than Sebek. But Sebek, in his right place, will help you master subjects, will help you master the sciences, help you master verbal communication, help you to think logically, but we don't in this society. So that is your destiny. Let us move on. And who's next? Michael. Let's do Michael. All right, Michael. You said you haven't had your reading done. Let's do that right now, okay? Let's do that right now. And what is Michael's destiny? What is his incarnation objective? Oser Tem Chaez. I'm sorry, Tem Ma'at. Oser Tem Ma'at. Oser Tem Ma'at. Oser Tem Ma'at. Oser Tem Ma'at. Ooh, Geb. Ooh, wow, that's interesting. All right. So let's break this down. So Geb deals with resources and the physical health. All right. And we already talked about Oser as a great unifier. He's he unified Upper and Lower Kemet, Egypt, because they were divided at one time. All right. So Michael Oser, unification. That's the number one priority in your life. Learning how to work with people, going beyond the influence of emotions, party lines, genders. You must learn to work with all people. Not allow anything to separate you from those people. And you must also come to the realization, understanding that you are Oser. Oser is within you. And you must work to the resurrection of Oser, the God within you. That must be your highest priority. And in doing so, you must also look at your environment, the resources, and your health, and say to yourself, are these things conducive? And do they help me in terms of bringing out the God within me? This is why you cannot put yourself around negative situations and environments. You know, I remember in the South Bronx, my brother used to hang out at the corner store and the bodega at 3 a.m. And I would go down there at 3 a.m. to get him, and I would notice how dark, and I would say to myself, there's like probably dark deceased beings around here, dark ancestors. And I was like, I can't be around this. And I would talk to my brother and say, these things will influence you. They will whisper in your ear, make you do things you don't want to do. Don't hang around here this late at night among these people. It will affect your health. So you must understand that you must unify and work with things that will bring you into a realization of who you are, which is Oser. And remember that hidden in the Oser is an Oset reading, Oset, Isis, because Oset deals with devotion. And what did she do? She was devoted to the resurrection. She was devoted to resurrecting Oser. She traveled the world and got the pieces of Oser, reassembled them so he could be resurrected. He could rise again. But in order for you to do that, you must be devoted and you must nurture your will, which is Haru. That is important. So that is your destiny reading. So very appropriate, your name, Oser. That works out for you. All right. So let me look at the time and where we're at. All right. Okay. Let me go and see who. Okay. Sorry. Trying to see who I haven't done a reading for before. Okay. Let's go to Strong Mind, Strong Body Fitness. Hello there. How are you? All right. Let's do a reading for you. Your destiny reading, okay? All right. What is Strong Mind, Strong Body, Destiny reading? What is her incarnation objective? Please tell us. Geb, 2, Chahez. Dark Deceased. Problematic. Geb. Whoa. That's something. Still reading. Yeah. Tahuti, 2, Mott. Whoa, you got a lot going on there. That's a very challenging reading. So we got Geb a number of times. So that's trying to tell you that your health is important, that your health has to be the primary thing you need to be focusing on. And you need to be looking at the environment and where you're at. Is it conducive to healthy living, healthy thinking? Because you've got a dark deceased reading. That means that these dark deceased beings may have a tendency to be attracted to you and will try to influence you. And that's problematic, very problematic. So you may contact me on the side and I'll give you a ritual to deal with these dark deceased beings because they could wreak havoc in your life. That's what they do. And somehow or another, your destiny was set up so that you can help them transition. You must help them, show them the light so they can get off your back, because they're going to cause problems in your life by steering you in the wrong direction and especially messing with your health. That's going to be very, very important because you got Geb card twice. So you're going to have to look at your physical health and maybe even your resources, money. So be very aware of that. Very important. Seems like you're on the right track so far. But the other thing that's important is you've got Tahuti 2 Ma'at. And we already talked about Tahuti. Tahuti is wisdom. Tahuti's mate is Ma'at. So here's the thing. You're going to have to learn how to make wise decisions in your life. You're going to have to learn to navigate certain things to where there may not be a precedent or a plan. You may have to be a trailblazer. You understand what I mean? Because when that Tahuti comes up, you're going to have to access the higher knowledge of the Cossack records. Okay? The unfortunate thing is that you have to watch out for is that the obstruction may come from the dark deceased. They may tend to give you wrong information, and which will steer you in the wrong direction. And you may think you have wisdom, but you don't, which is why you're going to have to deal with them. And dark deceased beings can take the form of depression, negative thoughts, negative interactions, which is why you're going to have to learn to work with higher wisdom and higher knowledge to get through all of that. You're going to have to learn to work with the oracles, which is Tahuti. Because you may not know the right way to go. Should you turn left? Should you turn right? So you're going to have to do oracle readings to give you the information you need to get you to where you need to go. Because you may not be able to trust your own judgment because of that dark disease and how it's going to affect your health. Because your health, if your health is not in check, you're going to make wrong decisions. You understand? So be very careful of that. But as I said, if you just email me, and I'll give you a ritual that will help you deal with the dark deceased. All right. So, my beloved, I want to thank you all for tuning in. And I want to just give you this kind of like cursory or this overview of your destiny reading and how important that is. Now, if I didn't get to you today, I'm sorry. And if you're looking to get a consultation done, you can just go to my website and you can set that up. And when I do the destiny reading, I really go into a lot deeper, meaning I do the I Ching as well, and I do the tarot, so that you'll have even more depth and breadth in terms of an understanding of your destiny and your life path and what's going to happen. Because this is just basically, I did the Maduna tier, but there's so much more information I could relate to you using the other oracle systems, especially the I Ching, because that really breaks down a lot of stuff, all right? But it's very important that you understand your destiny. If you don't, you're going to be reincarnated and you're going to be repeating it over and over again. Because if you don't learn it in this lifetime, you're going to repeat it again and again and again. And your destiny really takes the form of what you may think are different problems, but if you really examine it, it's the same problem disguised as different problems. It's the same one that just keeps happening over and over again. But you haven't been trained to see it. That, oh, that's my Tahuti problem. Oh, that's my Osir problem. We're not trained to see it that way. So it keeps popping up in different disguises and messes with us. But remember, it's really just the same theme playing itself out over and over again. All right, keep that in mind. And it's always good to put a shrine together, an altar together for that deity and ask for favor from that deity to help you and assist you. And then if you want to take things a step further, you will then get your Kemetic name. And usually with your Kemetic name, you're named after that deity. So if you have a destiny that is Osir, part of your new Kemetic name will have Osir in it. And that energy will help you to be more Osirian, if that makes sense. The energy will help you to be more Tahuti or more Sebek, so that you don't encounter those problems over and over again. That's why you'll see my name, Kesank Ma'a. Ma'a is the male version of Ma'at. And then people calling me by my name feeds me that energy to live truth. Very important. Also, if you guys, YouTube has demonetized my channel for speaking truth to power. If you get an opportunity, please donate to the channel. That will help me to do more videos, all right? And the link, the donation link is in the chat box. So I want to thank you. And if you guys enjoyed this, I will try to do this again. As I said before, if I didn't get to you, I apologize, but you can sign up for a reading and get more in-depth counseling from the one-on-one reading. This is Kesank Ma Keperu, son of Ma and Tahuti. Ma aunt is a beautiful goddess Heteru. Until the next video, Amen Ra.